Retro Rampage, Aaron with Riverman.
Hey.
Nintendo's in the news. When is Nintendo not in the news, Riverman? Have you been following the financial crises of the Wii U versus the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One?
No, I have, and one of my buddies is he's a PC guy, so I have to hear about it every day at work. How shitty Nintendo is.
Well, I'm a Nintendo fan, toe up, man, and I just don't. They're struggling with the competition, and I think the thing is people bitch and bitch and bitch that Nintendo's aimed at kids, which I can see that, but I heard from Jay from the Game Chasers. I heard him say something to the effect of, it's not that they aim. It's not that they're aiming just at kids. It's like Nintendo always did that. It's the fact that you guys got older.
Yeah.
And which, I could disagree and agree with. And I think it was a really good point, though, regardless. Because it is true. I mean, granted, back in the day, Nintendo did have adult-themed games, but that's because they were the head honcho. There wasn't all this competition. They got all the third-party support. They got, and now that's definitely slimmed out a bit. But you know what? But at the heart of it, their first-party games were always the same. They always had Super Mario. They always had Kirby. They still had your Metroid series, which is not a kiddie series.
Yeah, but it's also the fact that movies nowadays, media nowadays, is pretty lax, and everything's so violent now, and these kids can get into R-rated movies. That's what they want to see. They want to see, like, the heads exploding, the shoot 'em up and all that stuff. So they're going to gravitate more towards the systems that are going to give them, like, Call of Duties and stuff like that.
It's culture, man. You could break it down to a bunch of different things, but you might be on to one thing. Along with movies and stuff like that, desensitizing our youth. We also have the internet.
Yeah.
The internet and social media. Now we do have these IGN websites and that you can get access to these hardcore games really easily. And all you have to do is put in your age. They're not gonna, they don't know you're lying to view this video. But and it's just. You can access all kinds of obscene material, from movies to pornography. Anything is in the palm of your hand, literally, nowadays. So kids are exposed to a lot more. And
I remember I thought it was taboo when I was young. I picked up Leisure Suit Larry on the PC, dude, and I thought it was like the dirtiest thing ever.
Oh, yeah.
And now they have Grand Theft Auto with, like, hookers and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. I mean, even just playing Doom, Doom 3D and stuff like that, and there'd be, like, you'd shoot up the strip club. Yeah. But it was, like, the little, like, polygonal, pixelated boobies. To me, that was a big deal. And he'd say, like, I don't know, like, he'd swear or whatever, say, like, damn or whatever. And it was a big deal back then. And even Mortal Kombat was a big deal. If Mortal Kombat came out today, it wouldn't turn any heads.
No, at all.
No, because like you said, we got Grand Theft Autos pushing the envelopes and stuff like that. And you know what? This might be extreme of me to say, but it's kind of like, what they say about things like pornography, man. It's like, or drugs, man. You get a little taste and you have to get more and more, and you have to get more and more extreme. Like, if you grow an addiction to something, you need to move on to harder stuff. That goes for, like, the porn industry and stuff like that.
It definitely goes for that, too, because the more porn you watch, the more desensitized you are to it, where it actually doesn't affect you any.
Well, and then it's like, well, I need to introduce donkeys into this.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to get kinkier. What's that foot porn I hear about?
It's kind of gross to say, but if you don't look at porn for like a month, I guarantee you're going to get a boner rather than looking at porn every day. You're not going to get a boner.
Well, and, so take that in the context of gaming. You got these 8, 9, 10, 11-year-olds that have grown up now playing Black Ops. Like, their entire generation is these games. And they've, first-person FPS shooters, they've been popular for a very long time now. We've seen different fads come and go. The JRPG had its heyday in the late 90s into the early, but FPS, dude, that's been going strong for a long time. And I don't know if it's going anywhere. Halo started it. I think, started it, and then we've had the Call of Duty franchise and all these things, Battlefield, and I don't know if it's going anywhere. So we got the kids today that have basically grown up with that generation, and they're used to blowing stuff up and talking to people online. That's another thing, man. I have a kid brother. I got a kid brother who's like 10 or 11, and I swear, ever since he was 7, he's had a more foul vocabulary than most sailors.
I agree. Mine
and it's
too.
because, dude, they go online with their little headsets. They're playing these Call of Duty games, and they're playing with all kinds of adults that are saying all kinds of harsh language, you know?
Yeah.
So they're picking up all this stuff that I never knew when I was like 8, 9, 10, 11.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
and it's like, where did you learn that word and that phrase?
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, there's less of a filter on stuff these days. You can't filter anything from kids. And so, like I said, you have a kid that's grown up with that type of atmosphere. It's going to be a harder sell, I think. Like, hey, you want to play Sonic the Hedgehog?
No, I agree.
You know, so whatever. It's a bummer. But anyway, Nintendo is doing what Nintendo does. They're sticking to their guns, which I respect. At the same time, you know, it's a gray area. I want them to bend a little bit. They need to experiment a little bit and try to appease the market. They need to somehow find that balance of pleasing their hardcore fans, because their hardcore fans are hardcore. You know, they're always going to stick by them. But it's whether the entire market, the entire market keeps expanding. But I don't think Nintendo's core audience is expanding, because that core audience Nintendo has is the same core audience they've had since '96.
And it's also in the handheld market, so.
Yeah, well, they're doing okay in the handheld market. That's where all their money's coming from, and you know that's why their next few systems could totally tank, and they'll still, you know, be all right.
Would you say the more casual gamers are in the handheld market, like the younger kids and you know, the parents and?
Oh gosh, you know, I don't know. I don't know if it's that casual anymore. I mean, well, I think a lot of gaming is casual now. You know, back in the day.
Sure.
Back in the day, gaming wasn't as mainstream as it was. Back in the '90s, you know, there was, somebody that my grandfather had a Game Boy and he had Tetris.
Yeah.
That was a casual gamer, and something like Tetris and the original Game Boy latched on to gamers everywhere, and latched on to moms and dads and stuff. And you know, that's probably why they used to package Tetris with the Game Boy.
Sure.
You know, like, hey, I bought this for my kid, and I'm going to play it. Well, this is addicting. Whatever. It was a good marketing move on their part. But nowadays, it's just everybody plays it, man. Like it used to be a certain thing, like for little kids or like the geeks, the role playing nerds. Now, you got jocks, you got all the cool kids, everybody getting together ever since Halo, man. I swear, ever since Halo, you'd have like all the cool kids, everything getting together to play Halo parties. Now it's like at the frat houses, everybody's playing Madden.
Mm-hmm.
It's as common as TV. So it's tough to really, you know, tell what's a hardcore gamer anymore to me, because everybody's sort of raised the bar, and now I think the casual gamer plays more than the hardcore gamer used to play.
Oh, I agree.
So I don't know, man.
Well, and there's more games, like, I think, for the casual gamer, like the Maddens and stuff out now, than there is for maybe the hardcore gamer that grew up on different titles.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
yeah.
Absolutely. Well, now there's money behind it. There's money in the market. There's money to be made. So of course they're gonna cater to the audience, and you know they're gonna put out and make money from the people that are willing to throw it at them. So I don't know. Like I said, it's just hard to find out. It's just hard to discover who's casual anymore, because I don't know. It's just so popular these days.
No, I agree.
But Nintendo, they should ban, like, their next system. They can't fluke it up again. Nintendo, for their next system, ditch the Wii title. Mm-hmm. Because the Wii, it used to be the Super Nintendo, the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Nintendo 64. Then they came out with the Nintendo Wii, and there was always that Nintendo. Nintendo was the brand, but the Wii was so big, and the Wii name itself became such a household name, the Wii has become the brand.
Well, that's probably why GameCube wasn't as big, right?
Well, that's right. It was. They did take it out of there, but it was still the Nintendo GameCube. But now we have the Wii U, and a lot of people were confused. I mean, that's nothing new. The marketing was shit, and people didn't know if it was an add-on or what. And they really fucking dropped the ball on that. They need to ditch the Wii. Just ditch it. Abandon ship. The second one was not successful, so hopefully there's no hard feelings. Like, they're not going to feel like they're losing out by tossing that name. Come up with a whole new name, go back to your Nintendo moniker, and put out a system. The fans have already spoken. The fans want something that's more powerful. I personally am happy with what Nintendo gives, but for the sake of them, do something that's going to rival in power with these next systems. Do it. You know what? I get it. They try and keep the cost low. So you have two options here. First of all, I'm a hardcore Nintendo fan. I am willing to pay $400 for a system that is just as powerful. I'm willing to pay them extra money. But at the same time, if you're going to be stripped down and you're just going to be about the games and then don't be somewhere in the middle. Be cheap. Be $200 right out of the get-go. Like be half the price of the competition. So, it's either one or the other.
What was the original Wii priced at compared to PS3 and all that?
I don't even remember. Oh, well, compared to the PlayStation 3, I think the PlayStation 3 was like $600 when it first came out.
Oh yeah, but the Blu-ray player and all that stuff.
It was insanely expensive, and the Wii I think was about probably $300. Okay. But right now, I'm saying current gen, you've got the PlayStation 4, which started out at $400, and I do believe the Wii U Deluxe was $350 at the time. So a $50 gap, and one of them does a lot more for you. So that's where the beef kind of is. And yeah, they've lowered the price in the Wii U. It's $300 now for the Deluxe edition, and you get all kinds of crazy stuff with it. But maybe they should have started. I don't know, a little lower the first go around. But I don't know. But they got two chances here. In just a week or so. We got Mario Kart coming out, Mario Kart 8, and I'm stoked for it. I'm totally excited about it. And that game needs to pull it out of a slump. And I think Miyamoto, no, not Miyamoto. I don't know if it was Reggie or who the heck it said. I don't know who said it from Nintendo. Somebody made a statement that it only takes one game. It might have been Iwata. It takes one game to turn a system around. And I believe that. So hopefully it's Mario Kart. If it's not Mario Kart in a week, then I think in November we've got Smash Brothers coming.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if one of these two games doesn't pick up the pace for it substantially, Wii U's looking to never really rebound. I don't think they're going to disappear because Nintendo's got so much money in the bank right now that I think they'll stick it out. I mean, even the GameCube. The GameCube sold like, 30 million copies, 30 million units? Which was shit which is a fraction compared to like the PlayStation 2. Mm-hmm. But they still stuck it out because, Nintendo's stubborn. They let it live out its life, even though, they cater to their hardcores and whatever. But they're never going to dominate the market unless they really, really take into account what people want this next time around. But with that said, I'm stoked for Mario Kart. I hope it's awesome. And I am a Nintendo fan. I still think their first-party titles are ace. Super Mario 3D World is hands down the greatest game that came out last year. Very, very close second is Link Between Worlds for the 3DS. I mean, they've still got it. They make first parties and platformers like nobody's business, and nobody's ever going to touch them.
And I've been holding off for this bundle, the Mario Kart bundle. But then I've also heard rumblings that they're not going to have a physical copy in the box. It's just going to be a digital download.
What do you expect?
Which that just hurts. Man.
What do you expect?
Oh, yeah. Well, for your hardcores, I mean, I'm sure they're hurt by that. But
yeah, but you gotta. It's $300. It's $50 less. Plus, you're getting a free $60 game plus an extra controller, and God knows what else. I mean, the deal's pretty good. If I didn't have a Wii U, I would still buy that, even though I like my physical copies too. But you can't tell me that you would rather go out and buy the $350 system than pay $60 for the game and then go out and buy a second controller. I mean, you can't really slag on a company that's giving you something free. It's like, the free stuff's not good enough. I mean, that's just the way I see it. It's like, you can't really argue. It's still a good deal. And most people are all about digital these days. And that's them going towards the market. I understand. I like physical stuff. You like physical stuff. But that's not the mass. If I was a business or if you or me were Nintendo, we'd do the same thing because that's where the money is. Because that's them saving money. They don't have to package it in. They need to save all the money they can. So I think as a business decision, it's probably smart. We need to move the units, we need to move the systems, and we need to save as much money because they're already cutting so much off the price tag. So.
I'm talking a collector's standpoint.
From a collector's standpoint, but that's null and void. I mean, if you're a hardcore collector, we got collectors that are wasting their money going out buying box Sega Saturns.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
just to throw up in their closet. So the hardcore collector is going to go out and buy the physical copy on top of it anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily a bad move by Nintendo. I mean, whatever you
can always look for it once it goes down to 40, but.
Oh, Nintendo game? Ooh, you wish. Nintendo first-party games don't usually go down in price, my friend.
Oh, I thought they go down to 40.
Nintendo first-party titles?
Yeah.
Maybe when the next system comes out. No, man, dude. I think a game like Mario Kart, Smash Brothers, and Super Mario 3D World, they're going to be $60 for quite a long time.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that's just the way. But they're
I want to say Donkey Kong was 40.
Donkey Kong came out at 50 right out of the gate.
Oh, okay, that was 50.
And it's still at 50. So they've been experimenting with some different price changes lately, and I don't know why it is they're coming to these prices or not. I'm not arguing with it, but when it comes to their A titles, their Zeldas, their Marios and stuff, they're in the Mario Karts, they're going to be at 60 and they're not going to budge.
Yeah.
So if they do, then hallelujah. But I don't know. It's going back to they're not underselling their brand. I mean, them keeping those titles at $60. It says, hey, these are quality titles, and we're not selling ourselves short. And they're $60 games.
Yeah.
I'll pay $60 for them because they're games I'm going to play 10 years from now. So, some of these other shit games that come out for the Wii U that are coming out at $40, God bless.
Yeah.
Whatever. And they keep going down and down and down. That's fantastic, But anyway, that's the rumblings. That's what's been on my mind in the last week or two. We definitely want to follow up with the Retron ordeal. We definitely want to follow up with Mario Kart 8 when that comes out, and I'm hoping things turn around for Nintendo, and I don't want them to go anywhere. I certainly don't want them to go, the third party route. Everybody's clamoring, give us your games on all these cool systems.
I hope not.
No, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
Nintendo won't. They're a stubborn ass company. And the thing is look, all you guys that are bitching, oh, we love all your Nintendo games, your first party games, but you need to put them on these cool systems. Fuck you. Get off your ass and go buy a Wii U.
Yeah, no shit.
Like, if you like their games, respect that this is their format. They've been around for longer. In the game market, they've been around for so long. I think we should respect that. Like, get out. You love the games.
They're better quality title games. They're better.
You know what? At the N64, the GameCube, they were all in the same, and even in the Wii, they were all the same situation. You know what? You bought the system, and by the end of the system's life, I mean, I'm looking at my shelf right now, and gosh, man, I'm looking at eight or nine Wii games that are worth a damn. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the cycle, you have 8 or 9 games that are just incredible, and that's all you had. To me, that's worth the system.
That's fine. No, I agree.
That's worth the system. I mean, granted, I'm looking at my PlayStation 3 collection, and it's like 3 massive rows long. So, but God, I'm looking at all these PlayStation 3 games, and there's a ton of titles in there, and a lot of them are great. But then I'm looking next to it at my slim Wii U title, and I'm looking at 5, 10 across the board games in a row.
But like you're saying, which are the games you're going to be playing 30 years from now? You're going to be pulling out the Nintendo titles. Exactly.
So, you know what? It just comes down to if you support it, and if you want these first, party games, go out and support Nintendo. They're making their prices cheap enough. If you're looking to play chicken with it and wanting them to keep coming out with cheaper and cheaper and cheaper bundles, I don't want to see anybody caught, crying, because once it picks up, once Mario Kart 8, maybe if Mario Kart saves it and the sales pick up, or Smash Brothers picks the sales up, they're not going to do this anymore.
No.
They're going to start, these. I think the Mario Kart 8 bundle is where you should call it a day and snag it. It's the best deal. And anybody that buys Mario Kart 8 physical copy gets a free game download. So it's about as good as it's going to get. Yeah, you can cross your fingers and play chicken with it and hope they have another bundle for Smash Brothers. It might happen. It might happen if it just doesn't do the magic it wants to do it quite yet. But I wouldn't play chicken with it. So get off your asses. Go buy a Nintendo system. That's really the end of my rant today. I hope everybody digs this new podcast and, I don't know, leaves us some good feedback, because we have a lot of fun doing it.
And give us ideas of what to cover, too.
We don't want to stress out. This is very non-formulatic, minimal structure. We're just, bullshitting about the stuff we love and the stuff we've been hearing about and the stuff we want to plug. Whether or not they're giving us any incentive to plug it, that's not what it's about. We're not afraid to say what we like and what you think you should go out and watch. Everybody knows about all the game shows on YouTube, but I want to say, just because I don't think they're as big as, obviously, AVGN's humongous, but dude, the Game Sack, go watch the Game Sack.
Game Sack's awesome, man.
Tit for tat, going to toe, those guys have the best show around because you could see the effort they put into the production. Their production's great, the time they put into it, their edit work, and it's funny. It's really funny, and they're super knowledgeable. They're actually more knowledgeable when it comes to dates and specs on hardware than probably anybody out there.
Yeah.
So, watch them and hopefully keep listening to us. And like I said, leave feedback. And I don't know. I'm Aaron.
Riverman.
And this has been the Retro Rampage. See ya.